cold. Something cold is crept inside, something I can mend. In the midst of yes, where dreams may rise and then descend. If the sun won't set again, let no marker stand. Let the living thoughts of those remaining mark my grave. Everything fades away into the night. All of the colors fade to black and white. Everything fades away into the night. All of the colors fade like sorrow. So let the rain fall down. Let the thunder roll, let the sadness drown as the storm unfolds. In the arms of death, to the end I follow, till the sky so black takes this world away. Cold, something cold is leaving me, something lost to time, waiting for my life to pass into the dark unknown. Everything within my heart, battles left unfought, are all forgotten as I'm passing through the dying light. Everything fades away into the night. All of the colors fade to black and white. Everything fades away into the night. All of the colors fade like sorrow. So let the rain fall down. Let the thunder roll, let the sadness drown as the storm unfolds. In the arms of death, to the end I follow, till the sky so black takes this world away. Let the rain fall down, let the thunder roll, let the sadness drown as the storm unfolds. In the arms of death, to the end I follow, till the sky so black takes this world away.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much. We have Bella Morte in the house. Did I say that right?
You got it.
Andy Deane and Tony Lechmanski in the house.
Awesome, you guys. That was fantastic.
Before we go any further, I just have to say this is becoming my favorite segment because I don't know if you've ever sat really close to a musician, but I feel so privileged to be sitting next to people that take their works so passionately.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was really...
I just have to ask, do you ever sit down and sing that song?
It's a rare thing, but we have, and actually we were playing with Bella Morte, we were playing a convention last year called Con Nuga that takes place in Chattanooga, and there was going to be an acoustic set, and something got crossed, the lines got crossed, and the room we were supposed to do it in, there ended up being no PA. And so the con's like, well, we're they were really apologetic. It's an awesome time there. Definitely not complaining about them, but we were like, we're not going to cancel the set. So we grabbed 2 chairs and we kind of gathered up, told all our fans, hey, it's still happening. And Unplugged, and so there was a big old circle of,
awesome.
50 people just like kind of gathered around us, and it was great.
I think that's almost sometimes a sweeter deal.
We're going to do it that way this year, actually, because of last year, because they've invited us back. So I think
kidding.
We're going to do the same thing because we enjoyed it so much.
Oh, that is fantastic. Yeah. So I have to start with the opera. I'm sorry. You are classically trained.
Yes, yeah.
So, are we going to see you on the stage with Viking hat on anytime soon?
Maybe, but not doing opera. I'm actually not a huge fan of classical music. More than anything is because I've always tended towards darker music, and there's always this thing with classical where it'll kind of flow through this dark mood, and then it'll jump into something that reminds me of Tom and Jerry somewhere in the middle. Not that I don't like Tom and Jerry, like they're cool. I wish Tom would win more often, but that's another story. But it always jumps into this really happy kind of uplifting part, and I guess the whole idea is they're telling a story, but those happy parts ruin the entire thing for me. Like, because it breaks the mood.
Right.
And
it's like coffee when you've got a good buzz going with wine.
Actually, I've never had alcohol.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go, folks.
You should try it. You really should. So you guys are both you're both in Bella Morte.
Yeah, we've been.
Bella Morte.
Bella Morte.
Bella Morte.
Yeah.
Morte. So what does
Get it right.
What does it mean?
A beautiful death.
So
I
Morte.
actually looked that up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Morte means death.
Yes.
Okay. The name. How'd you come up with that?
Actually, it was back at the beginning of the band when we had Gopal Metro was still in the band, a very good friend of ours, and was in the band for a long time. And he actually came up with the name. And it was just one of those things. We were kind of, we weren't taking the band so seriously, and we kind of made a list, and that one just kind of stuck. And it was this, the idea of finding beauty in tragedy. I think people see, metal and goth and music like that, and they have this assumption that it's all about darkness and stuff like that. But then they see Romeo and Juliet or something like that, and they think, well, that's okay. And it's kind of like, I always feel like musicians get a tougher rap than writers and filmmakers generally. Because if you think about it, no one's ever come out and said, that's Stephen King, he's a Satanist. You've never heard that, but a band like Slayer that happens to sing a lot of songs about the devil, and they're a bunch of Catholic dudes. It's really funny. Or Iron Maiden, who are, once again, a bunch of Christians. I don't know if all the guys in the band are, but I know a few of them are. But because it's music, they get such a bad rap, and I don't know if it's because it like kind of it's like right there in your face, and it kind of hits you in the soul a little more directly, but music always gets more flack, I feel, than any other.
Well, I'm glad you're saying that, because you're like a perfect representative of that, because you're clearly not a devil worshiper.
I'm not a religious guy at all.
You've got bright eyes, and you're a friendly guy, and you've got a smile, and I'm not sort of feeling like my life is threatened. Tony Lechmanski, I've heard other things.
I don't put on a show for the camera.
but so this leads me to my next thing. So clearly, you don't have to be sort of this guy to sing the songs. And there is a theme. There is a theme. Your first band was called No Pain.
Nerve, No Pain.
Nerve, No Pain, and The Rain Within, and all that. Is your music almost like therapy for you? Is that how you can be such a happy person, because you get it all out in your music?
Well, it's definitely got something to do with it. It's very cathartic. I don't know, but I've been a happy guy my whole life. I had a really good childhood. My parents were very like, do your own thing, and that's the reason I don't drink, actually, is because I never had a rebellion thing. Like, my dad and mom were never like, don't do this. When I hung my first Slayer poster up, it had a bunch of, like, it's covered in inverted crosses, pentagrams, a lake of blood, demons. I mean, it's like Slayers are like, how much devil can we pack into this poster so that every 15-year-old in America will buy this album? And they had it all, but when I first put the poster up, I remember my dad taking me aside, and he just kind of said, hey, what's this about to you? This is new to me, what's going on? And I explained it to him. I was like, I like the music, and I like the images the same way I like a horror film or a horror novel. And he was like, cool. And that was always his thing. Like, if you do what you want, love what you do, and don't hurt anybody while you're doing it.
And he approached you with respect.
Absolutely.
So
never gave me crap about the way I look, and that's why I look so stupid. Yeah, I wish you'd said something.
I've been thinking about me. I've been thinking about the hair, and I've been trying to picture it with how it went down through your parents, and you come home with a mohawk, and mom and dad say, oh, it's just a mohawk, honey, so what? Then the next day it's blonde. It's like, oh, it's just blonde, so what? Andy, it's purple. Get over here.
Pink, actually.
Yeah, well, I went pink for, we did 5 shows in October, and I went pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, because we were doing shows like
love that.
All that. And we had a big one up in New York.
New York, yeah.
Like, technically Halloween night, it was, everybody did the events on Saturday instead of Sunday. So, it's helping spread the word, we can say boobs.
Save some boobs.
Save some boobs.
Fantastic.
One thing I care about besides guitar.
What about lungs? Are you guys interested in lung cancer?
I don't want it if you're.
Raising money for it.
If you're-
We can
if
put
you're
you in touch
selling
with
it,
some
I'm
nice
not buying,
ladies that
baby.
are trying to bring awareness too. If you're
Hey, yeah,
if you're
we're-
into charity stuff, we'll hook you
We're
up.
always happy to help. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we used to do an
don't want
event
it.
with Sean Decker, who
Oh, yes.
I mentioned,
Yeah.
author friend of ours, and he did a book called My Pet Project, so I'll buy it. And he you know,
We're gonna have
he has
fun stuff.
HIV, so we've done fundraisers with Sean, and we used to do one when Tokyo Rose, the best club Charlottesville's ever had.
Ever.
We used to do this thing called painting the red ribbon black, and we donate to the AIDS Resource Center and stuff.
Oh,
like
that's
that.
And we did a couple
great.
things like DC or something like that. We did another one with him for
Yeah.
like
yeah,
AIDS
so-
awareness or
I
something.
love
It was
that.
great.
Yeah.
I love that you're so involved in all that type of work. Now you're doing some solo work. You've got a solo
Yeah.
project. It's more electronica kind of stuff. You tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's called the Rain Within, and basically what happened
have
is
that? No.
yeah, that's the album right
yeah.
there. When Bella Morte started, we were much more electronic, and we didn't even have a live drummer. And as the band grew and we got a drummer and everything, that sort of music didn't really fit live anymore. It was hard to use that sound, and so had all these songs, and I was like, when we started the band, I remember, recording an album could cost tens of thousands of dollars. I think we put, at the most, we put 15 grand into an album. At the most, it was As the Reasons Die, I think. And it's just so expensive, but now you can do it at home. I mean, you can record a quality album in your room.
It's accessible to everyone.
Absolutely. And so I was like, I'm going to put out an album, and I'm just going to do this on my own, and it's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun, and it's actually funny because it's great promotion for Bella Morte too.
That is
You pull
fantastic.
people from another kind of thinking as far as the music they're into back into the other stuff you're doing. The one sells the other and back and forth. So.
Yeah, keep it alive. Do you know Robbie Williams? British singer?
I know
You
who
sound
he
a little
is.
bit like him, actually. When you started to sing, I was like, Robbie Williams.
I don't know.
He's famous.
Is he like the big pop star that just can't get his hooks into the U.S.? Is that? I think I've heard of this
Yeah.
guy.
I saw him on TV. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so
like
don't
it was
go
on
over
the air
there.
or something.
Yeah.
You won't be able to get your hooks back in
But
over
you've
here.
already been over there.
We've been, yeah.
You've toured Europe.
Yes,
And many times around the U.S.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, countless times, I'm sure.
You're a novelist.
Yes.
How'd that happen?
We were actually, we tour a lot. We're on the road, 3 months a year usually. And that year we had been gone a couple months, but I always wrote short stories. And I had started a short story and I was like, I'll just keep writing. I've always written, but I just kept writing. And next thing you know, I look down and I've like, hit the word count thing and it's like, you have 20,000 words or whatever.
Was that the first one?
That is, indeed.
The Sticks?
That's
see
my
that?
debut. And and it grew into a novel, and actually Tony was the first person I passed it off to kind of like, is this any good? And
We were doing an album called Blue the Gray Sky Black, and we were actually living in the studio at that point. It was for the album. It was in Richmond, and they had basically a giant apartment upstairs, so we
Wow.
stayed there.
Yeah.
So when I wasn't recording or anything, I was kind of laying on the couch reading this book.
Nice.
Yeah.
And again, a horror theme.
everything.
You loved horror
I've since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's just been, it's the best genre for metaphors. I mean, the whole Jekyll and Hyde sort of thing. The me and the other me. That whole thing recurs.
Alter
in-
ego.
It's all
It's
it is.
a recurring theme tonight.
Yeah.
We just had some alter egos before you on.
Oh, did you?
We know those all
You
together.
pissed us off.
Yeah. Now we're going to have to wrap it up because the time goes so fast. But you're going to sign both of your books, right?
Absolutely.
And here's
I can write.
he can write too. And this
Almost
one's
spelled
called The
that.
Third House. So Andy's going to sign both of these, and if you're interested, you can email me at lana@valivingtv.com. Let's say that again, lana@valivingtv.com. If you're interested, and we will get these to you. And I would say hurry up because the first person will get it. And where can people find your CDs, and where can they find out more about you?
Yeah, the best place to go is, of course, bellamorte.com. And I guess you could check, if you hit the like tab on our Bella Morte Facebook page, which, you just do a search for it and you'll find it. That's a really good place too. Social media is kind of making our website kind of take a back seat as far as that goes.
it's amazing,
I'm
isn't
thinking
it?
about cutting our website down to one page because that's what I did with The Rain Within,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Thank you so much for coming, you
Thank
guys.
you.
You rock.
Awesome, thank you
Can I
so
do this?
much.
Oh, but the thumb...
That means I love you. That's not right.
Oh, right, but I love you.
I love you too.
Stay tuned. We've got Russell Richards coming up next.
I love Russell.
Spread the good word.